At this point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. Ask that you remember Tom Dooley, who passed away. He was the retired president of the Middlesex County AFL-CIO Labor Council and a friend of all of ours. Salute to the flag. Dennis.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call, Margaret, please.
Freeholder Barrett.
Here.
Freeholder Delina.
Here.
Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Scott.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Here. I believe we have a few commemorative resolutions, Margaret.
Yes. The first is recognizing Joseph M. Wojcik of the Borough of South River, as he has been named the 2010 Grand Marshal of the Pulaski Day Parade in New York City. Next is recognizing John Hoffman of Wentz, Goldman, and Spitzer, as he has been named the 2010 recipient of the Page Lamadou Outstanding Citizenship Award by the Middlesex County College Board of Trustees. And last is recognizing Sharika Wright of the Borough of Sayreville for her response to an emergency situation.
Need a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Deputy Director, I believe you're going to make a presentation.
Thank you. Sharika, you would please step forward. Just like to bring attention to this fine young lady who just received an award from Monmouth Medical Center for her outstanding service, what she did. She's a student at our great college, Middlesex County College, in the nursing program. And what she did was she noticed that there was a patient that was not feeling well, and she noticed that something just wasn't right. So she took action, and through her actions and being alert, she actually saved this patient's life. So it always gives us great pleasure to brag and boast about all of our residents, and especially when it comes to students in our vocational schools or in our college. So we have a resolution recognizing Sharika Wright from Sayreville for doing an outstanding job, going above and beyond the call of duty. And we only could see great things coming in your future in being a nurse and the rest of your career. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thankfully, you responded a lot quicker than we can take a picture.
No thanks. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time. Correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
I need a motion to accept the correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to accept the minutes of the August 19th Freeholders meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Carol Barrett.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Director. So glad to be back from vacation.
We're glad to have you back.
Well, I'm glad I'm not down the shore, actually, tonight, but it is very good to be back. I'm happy to announce today that the Middlesex County Department of Housing and Community Development has received approval for their 2010 consolidated plan from HUD. The programs funded under this plan will bring into Middlesex County a total of $4.2 million for projects benefiting low-income people, the elderly, the disabled, and the homeless. It will also provide for a creation of new affordable housing for our residents through acquisition, construction, and rehabilitation, and a first-time homeowners program. I don't think I say it enough times. Thank you, Paul Buckley, you and your staff for the great job that you're doing for all of the residents of Middlesex County. Thank you. I just wanted to wish everyone a very happy Labor Day and a safe Labor Day, and just to take the time to remind everyone that most of us don't really think about what Labor Day is, and we know it's the end of the summer and the kids are going back to school and there's barbecues, but Labor Day is a very important day to remember laborers, people who have made this United States what it is. I'm not sure that our younger people really understand the full depth of what Labor Day means, but I'll just tell you one little family story. My father was born in Italy. He came to the United States when he was 3 years old. He didn't finish 6th grade because he had to work in the coal mines. It's things like that that happened in the late 1800s and the 1900s that don't happen anymore. And this was through activism and the labor movement. And all of us, and I urge all of you maybe to talk to your great-grandmother, great-grandfather, father, to ask what it was like in those days, and then look to see what we have today, and be thankful for our forefathers who have brought us to this part of the day. And if you get a chance on Labor Day, just give a little thought to what it really means for Labor Day. But you can still have a barbecue and have some fun.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Stephen J. Pitolina.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I have our assistant, since Ralph Albanere is not feeling good. Lily, you like to get up and make say a few words? I mean a few words.
Oh, well, he's got you on the chopping block.
You'll do a good report. Go ahead.
Okay. The Middlesex County Conservation Corps has listed its fall events, volunteer events, which include cleanup and trail building at Ireland Brook Conservation Area, and in cooperation with Clean Ocean Action Beach Sweep down at Old Bridge Waterfront Park. All events are posted on the website, so please see the website for more information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Freeholder.
And now we have Susan Kittredge. Susan, you have anything to say? No? Okay, my report is finished. I got good people. They work night and day. That's why I don't have to make a report.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder H. James Paulus.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Just to update you quickly, we're moving ahead with our county vehicle wash facility, our shared service arrangement with several communities. We should be having our draft discussion with those participating communities within the next few weeks. The South County Dispatch Initiative is still moving ahead. We've had one entity which has made a decision not to proceed, but we still have 4 that are continuing, and we're setting up another meeting to go through the details of that so we can hopefully emerge with an agreement between the 4 communities to develop a new South County Safety Dispatch Initiative. It'll be the first in the county. in the last couple of weeks, we were fortunate enough to receive, I think, 2 checks, if I'm not mistaken, Al, from the Board of Public Utilities, reimbursement checks. One was for, I believe, about $60,000. The other one was for $20-some thousand. This was the program that we put together, and it really came as a result of Middlesex County being the first out of the box to participate in the state-funded energy audit program. In fact, I'm sure the board will remember that initiative, statewide initiative, was actually kicked off here in Middlesex County out at our Department of Public Works. The board president, Gene Fox, came here and initiated it in Middlesex County because of our leadership when it comes to green technology. And as a result of really being first out of the box, we were able to qualify, get into the queue, and be able to receive a substantial amount of the funding for the new HVAC system that was being put onto the archives building. And we received those reimbursement checks already as payment towards that rather significant capital improvement that otherwise would have been on the burden, at the burden of the taxpayers in Middlesex County. So it's always nice when you get a check in the mail, literally. The CTSP program, our Comprehensive Traffic Safety Program initiative, is moving forward. We've completed a draft survey, which is going out now to a number of residents throughout the county. We've actually created 2, one geared towards a particular pedestrian walking population, the other geared a little bit towards more of our older population. Once that data comes in, we'll then be collating that and coming up with an action plan for not only pedestrian but also for traffic and driver safety as well. I guess there are just a couple of other items that really relate. I know that we have, we'll be voting on a resolution tonight relating to our solar initiative in Monroe. It's an exciting new proposal. I have some comments on that, or some thoughts that I have already shared with the engineer and with, through the engineer, I assume, to the mayor as well. I guess we could just discuss those later when that comes up for discussion or vote or presentation. Is there a presentation on it tonight? Or?
There was not going to be a presentation.
So you tell me the appropriate time, and I'll comment then, I guess.
I guess now, if you have a question or something you want to bring up.
No question. Again, I think it's a great initiative, very supportive of it. I had mentioned to the engineer, and I just wanted to make sure that as part of the approval tonight, one of the things that we talked about was ensuring that the revenue that we're going to be providing through the bonds is utilized in such a way that guarantees the county's position with respect to the land purchases. I think that was okay, but I just want to make sure that we're as part of our resolution and understanding, so we're secured in that regard. Also, just a recommendation, and I guess this is really part of crafting the agreement, but I think it's something that we need to at least be cognizant of, is ensuring that the developer is posting an appropriate performance and maintenance bond ongoing during the life expectancy of the solar project. These solar initiatives usually run 15 or 20 years, but during that time period, inverters and other things can go. Fronius inverters are very expensive. They're using monocrystalline panels. They can also crack due to age and weather conditions. So I think before it can become potentially a headache for someone, I think that we should require as a county through the town that a bond be placed during that life expectancy term, so that, again, your taxpayers municipally aren't burdened, as well as obviously the county in any way, shape, or form. The only other item, 2 other quick items, is that I think I'd just recommend that we consider a minimum efficiency rating for the installation. The pricing can vary substantially. Efficiency ratings for these panels can run from as low as 11% to as high as 19%, and depending upon what you buy will determine how expensive it is and what its efficiency and effective rating is. So it's just a recommendation to include that as part of it. And I think third-party user. Yeah, who's going to prepare dollars? And I think that covers it. The release. Just the last item is just that the release of the dollars. If we're going to purchase the land up front, that there be a tie-in between the release of the dollars as the project is completed. And again, I'm sure that gets into some more of the technical language, but as long as we're understanding of how it proceeds, I'm just, I don't think we should just provide the grant without making sure that the project's being built in some form or fashion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we'll understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Ron.
And I wish Monroe best of luck with it. I think it's a great, very innovative project, and certainly will become a model for the state if it comes to fruition. So congratulations to all of you.
Deputy Director.
Thank you, Director. As far as my report is on the environmental division, our environmental division will, solid waste program will this year be surveying asphalt milling stockpiles throughout the county, inspections sites of different DPW sites, yards where construction debris or asphalt, concrete is in their yards. As far as Raritan Bay Mental Health Services, we have a high demand, continues to have a high demand, especially with the many people that lost their jobs and along with any medical benefits that they may have enjoyed. We continue to offer affordable services, and it's on a sliding scale based on family income and dependence. We've also implemented a credit or a debit card to make it a little more convenient for our residents. We also have the Sales by the Sea thrift store on Jefferson Street in Perth Amboy. And if anyone needs any information as far as our Raritan Bay Mental Health Services, they could be contacted at 732-442-1666. Health Department report. We have our 2010-2011 flu clinics kicking off. 20 communities throughout the county will be conducting flu clinics for anyone from 18 and over. The cost of the vaccination will be $10. For residents with a current Medicare card, Medicare will be billed. As far as our department, we also got involved with the egg recall that was announced nationally, and we were involved with that. As far throughout the county, different diners and restaurants were inspected. Tonight's agenda, we will be amending the operating budget to include a grant from the state for $181,240 for special child health services case management, and also for another grant to include $130,000 for childhood lead poisoning prevention. As far as the Middlesex County College, again, congratulations to Sharika, who did an outstanding job there and just starting in her nursing education. And I think a lot of great things are going to happen for her. This week was the welcome address from the county college, the county president, college president, Joanne LaPerla Morales, and the Lahamadou Award. And John Hoffman was awarded that. He's been the college counsel for 45 years, and he's done many great things for that college. Craviel Hall is on target for opening. We're looking at the spring of 2011. Our nursing class of 2009 had a passing rate of 97% on their state boards. The dental hygiene student had a passing rate of 100% on our state boards, and they did 100% on national boards. And the second year in 3 years, we have a Jack Kent Cook Scholarship winner, and that was our 2010 valedictorian, Zizhao Zoa, and he received $30,000 scholarship to Berkeley. And it's just outstanding, the program that we have and the students that come out of there, how they excel. And our nursing program director is going to receive a national award. And that's the, it will be presented at the summit in Las Vegas at the end of September. And that's Michelle Foley. So a lot of great things are happening in our county college. And that concludes my report, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Millie Scott.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. You know, right now we're in hurricane season, and the hurricane that's maybe heading our way is called Hurricane Earl. Right now, Middlesex County is under a tropical storm watch because of Hurricane Earl, which is a Category 3. A storm moving up the East Coast, Earl is packing winds up to 125 miles an hour. The storm has begun to move north at approximately 18 miles per hour and is projected to turn northeast tomorrow afternoon. I want to take this time to urge our residents and our audience members to prepare for the storm. Right now, experts are saying that if Earl stays on track, New Jersey will experience winds up to 40 miles per hour, with rains totals from 1 to 2 inches. The biggest effect the storm is expected to have on Middlesex County is a moderate tidal flooding in the area of the Raritan Bay. High tide in Sandy Hook on Friday is scheduled for 3:35 p.m. However, Earl's path may change. If the storm should veer west, New Jersey and Middlesex County could sustain much higher winds and tides and suffer considerable more damage. Because of that, and because we have 3 months left in the hurricane season, I ask you to heed the advice of the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management. Get a kit of emergency supplies, the items that will help you stay sufficient for 72 hours, 3 days if needed. Make a plan for what you and your family will do during an emergency. This includes knowing how to evacuate and how to shelter in a place. Stay informed of possible threats, especially during hurricane season. Tune in to your local media outlets for the latest breaking weather reports. In the event of emergency, a power battery radio is a great tool. The Middlesex County Office of Emergency Management has participated in regularly scheduled conferences calls with State of Emergency Management. And I ask all our residents to continue following the progress of the storm and heed in the warnings of emergency officials. I want to thank our emergency coordinator, Rory Zach, and his team for their efforts in this event. You know, sometimes we take things for granted, and one of the things I think we take for granted is rain, floods, which can be very damaging and detrimental. So it's very important that we do stay in tune to see what's going on in our surroundings. On my second report, on July 30th, I received a copy of a letter and report from the State Department of Corrections resulting from their recent inspection of our own Adult Correction Center. I am proud to report that once again, the state has found our facility to be 100% compliance with their standards. This finding occurred after an extensive and exhaustive 2-day survey by the team of state inspectors. Every aspect of our operation was analyzed by the inspectors, from staffing to training to security and control, and from record keeping to food service and medical care. The state is very meticulous during this inspection. I'm also proud to say that there's no other county correction facility in the state that comes close to our record of over 15 consecutive years of 100% compliance. So I want to congratulate Warden Chickey and his staff for their efforts in achieving this distinction. It is certainly a glowing example of efficiency and operational excellence. And you know, again, I want to say sometimes we take things for granted. We have a correction facility out there, and things run smoothly. But you have to put the effort behind it, and Warden Chickey and his staff does that. And we could not be 100% compliance if they didn't do that. Again, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Blanquita Valenco.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I just want to simply announce that we have received the Title V Grant Award in the amount of $130,000 from the New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission. These funds will be spread out over a 3-year period to implement social decision-making, problem-solving prevention programs in after-school settings in both Perth Amboy and New Brunswick. And the target population is 3rd through 5th grades. The grant application was very competitive, and only Salem and Middlesex County proposals were funded. On the other hand, we have a county-wide needs assessment. Our Human Services Advisory Council is preparing to launch this needs assessment at the end of September. Advisory board volunteers and DHS staff have been meeting throughout the summer to plan a series of 5 focus groups, which will be held in different locations throughout the county. And these include North Brunswick, Perth Amboy, Edison, New Brunswick, Sayreville, and Piscataway. Key collaborators in this process include the Rutgers School of Social Work, the County Municipal Alliance, and the Puerto Rican Action Board. Brochures outlining the needs assessment details will be distributed to stakeholders next week by mail, electronic mail, and through the media. Finally, a creative interdepartmental agreement between Human Services and Workforce Development has assured the uninterrupted continuation of many services for the disabled, at least through the end of this year. The state grant that funded the Office for the Disabled was terminated on July the 1st. A vacant position of Disability Navigator in Workforce Development was combined with the position of Director of the Office for the Disabled in Human Services, and this staff person now splits the time between 2 departments, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. Last meeting, I announced that the audit came back for the county financial books and records, and there was no recommendations, and that was good news. Well, I've gotten the audits for the Sheriff's Department, the Surrogate's Office, as well as the County Clerk, and they, too, have no recommendations, which is good news. That we're adopting the findings of those audits tonight, and that'll also be published in the paper. At this point in time, we need to deviate from the regular order of business for the purpose of conducting 3 public hearings.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on August 24, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held August 19, 2010.
The clerk will read ordinance number 10-02 by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the guarantee by the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, of the payment of principal of and interest on the county-guaranteed capital equipment and improvement revenue bonds, Series 2010, issued by the Middlesex County Improvement Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $22 million, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, September 2, 2010, at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
At this point in time, I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public on ordinance number 10-02? Need a motion to close?
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 10-02 on final reading.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Next ordinance. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on August 24, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held August 19, 2010.
The clerk will read ordinance number 10-03 by title only.
An ordinance of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, approving and authorizing the entering into, execution, and delivery of a lease and agreement with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority for the purchase of vehicles with an estimated cost of $910,400, the cost of such vehicles to be financed through the issuance of county-guaranteed capital equipment and improvement revenue bonds, Series 2010, of the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, September 2, 2010, at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 10-03 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Next ordinance. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on August 24, 2010. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held August 19, 2010.
The clerk will read ordinance number 391 by title only.
A loan ordinance of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, approving and authorizing the entering into, execution, and delivery of a loan and security agreement with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority for the undertaking of various 2010 capital improvements and the acquisition and installation, as applicable, of various equipment with an estimated cost of $13,037,453, the cost of such improvements and equipment to be financed through the issuance of county-guaranteed capital equipment and improvement revenue bonds, Series 2010 of the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, September 2, 2010, at 7 p.m., and authorizing publication thereof.
I declare the public hearing open. Anyone from the public on ordinance number 391?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 391 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. I need a motion to resume the regular order of business.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Kelso.
Director, there are no resolutions to be amended. We have one resolution proposed for addition, and that resolution would be to authorize a grant in the amount of $1 million to the Township of Monroe from the Middlesex County Open Space Recreation and Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund for construction and/or improvements to municipal recreation facilities as follows: the reconstruction of the Harvey H. Day Farm Barn. And we would need a roll call vote to add that to the consent
Need
agenda.
a motion to add that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And that will become Resolution 10-1579 on the consent agenda. Director, there are no resolutions to be held. And finally, on page 9, Resolution 10-1356 is to be voided as per our information from Monday evening.
Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting for public discussion on resolutions listed on the agenda. Remember, there's a 5-minute rule. Anybody from the public on resolutions?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any freeholder have any resolutions that they wish to remove from the consent agenda and vote on separately?
I do, Freeholder Director, Resolution 10-1550, as well as Resolution 10-1565.
Okay, anybody else? I have one that's Resolution 10-1572. Mr. Kelso?
Yes, motion at this time would be in order, excuse me, to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions numbers 10-1499 through Resolution 10-1579, excluding Resolution 10-1356 to be voided, and Resolutions 10-1550, 10-1565, and 10-1572 to be voted upon separately.
Any motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the two resolutions which were excluded by Freeholder Valenti, and they are Resolutions 10-1550 and 10-1565.
Any motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And finally, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution excluded by the Director, and that is Resolution 10-1572.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Present, not voting. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the floor to the public. Anyone from the public? And remember, there's a 5-minute rule.
Good evening. My name is Brian Hackett, resident of Monroe Township. It was unfortunate I received a call this morning. It was my day off, and I was trying to get some sleep in, and woke me up. But the topic of the phone call, a friend of mine in Edison gave me a call about some kind of event going on in Roosevelt Park, which I was told freeholders were present, and there were some county vehicles there. And I was just wondering what the purpose of this event was, if in fact that's the case. I was sent some photographs of it, but I'm just wondering what the purpose of this event was.
there was filming of a political advertisement.
Well, this political ad was at 10:30 or 11 o'clock this morning. I see a problem with that if it's on county time with county employees, especially if we're being told that there's deficiencies and problems in staffing and corrections in the sheriff's department. What this is being done on county time with taxpayer-funded county employees, what the purpose of this was, and if it's even appropriate.
It's my understanding that the employees that were there on behalf of corrections as well as youth detention were on personal time.
Can I obtain documents that show that that was personal time or vacation time that was being used?
You can request it, sure.
Okay. Can I get that from the clerk here, or do I need to Oprah that?
I think it has to be Oprah.
Would have to be
It has to be Oprah.
Okay. And if I could ask, who was present at this as far as the freeholders on the board?
The three freeholders, myself, Freeholder Valente, and Freeholder Delina.
And no one else?
Of the free, oh, I'm sorry, and Freeholder Scott, I'm sorry.
Could I interrupt a minute? Let me give you this thing. We were up there, and we were also looking at what part of the park, some of those tables and other stuff. So I was taking our director around to show him that, and eventually we'll be looking to probably go out and bid on some new tables and also some other things there that are, see, Roosevelt Park is one of the oldest parks we have in our system.
Was that purpose part of this political ad?
No.
No, it was not part of it. It was just that we also did the same thing. We researched it, and we had a problem in different places in one area, because at one time, there was a play area up there, and we were trying to change it over to give more space for people to picnic up there.
I understand that. I'll just conclude by saying I'm not a lawyer yet, but if this was in fact not done on personal time or otherwise, I just have to remind everyone that it is illegal to be filming political ads for a political campaign on county time with county-funded people who are working. And secondly, on a different point, can I obtain copies of the audit for the clerk's office as well as the sheriff's office?
You requested through Oprah.
I have to Oprah that as well?
Request, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Motion to close?
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.